The reason I decided to set up this meeting is because I think if they can hear from the company first and that would boost their confidence. So there's some questions that I already drafted down. The questions they were some of the questions they sent.
Okay.
Or
Okay, let
maybe
me
you can
just give you a
even
bit
yeah.
of introduction. All right, my name is Olateru. I work for Imperial Homes Mortgage Bank. Yes, mortgage is real and very, very, very much available for both Nigeria in diaspora and Nigeria living here. And also for self-employed in Nigeria and people in paid employment. But in diaspora, only for paid employment individual in diaspora, not for self-employed. Currently, we have a product among other products called Embrief, which is
Okay.
what we currently market more
Okay.
because of the rates and some of the added advantage that comes with it. Embrief. Embrief means Ministry of Finance Real Estate Investment Funds in partnership with ARM. Um, they avail or make funds available for Nigerians who wants to buy a property, majorly first-hand property, and who wants to live there. Yes, that's what it's for. And yeah, you can access up to a maximum loan amount of 100 million, interest rate of 9.75%,
The equity contribution.
equity contribution of 10 to 20%, depending on the property value, FSV, and quite a lot of other things.
Okay.
Uh, well, the subject maximum loan amount for us in Imperial is expect to be 70 million,
Okay.
even
For
though,
Imperial.
yes, even though the
Mortgage.
product says 100 million.
Okay.
Individual differences, we try to peg as to averagely 70 million because we all know that whatever in, whatever individual is receiving as a bank is also differs among different banks.
Okay.
What I'm trying to say is what Emrif is going to avail to Stanbic, for example, is different from what they are going to avail to Imperial.
Okay.
The fund is subject to maybe
The
respective capacity of each bank. So that was why we decided to do ours at 70 million.
Okay.
So I might be taking your questions now.
Okay. All right. So somebody asked. He said that the mortgage is it limited to property purchase in Lagos or there is opportunity to buy from other states
There's
in the
for us in
country.
Imperial, there is opportunity to use Embryo for properties in Lagos, Ogun State, Ibadan, and Abuja.
Okay.
We consider it's on a case by case basis. We consider properties in line with the title perfection states of
Okay.
that particular state. So if it's something our lawyer okay is to do, maybe. So other state aside Lagos, Ogun, Oyo, and Abuja
Abuja. All right.
is subject to legal and management approval.
Okay. Okay. Somebody is asking. He said, at what point will the amortization be done? Because most of the clients used to ask me that how much will they be paying eventually, that they want to know with the interest repayment and the loan and the cost of the property. So most of them are looking at what the interest repayment will look like. So they want to know how much it will be, that what when will the breakdown be done for them so that they can make their decision.
Well, as regard breakdown is majorly determined by property price,
Okay.
right? Let's say uh, the property price is 100 million, and it's also determined by the amount of equity contribution respective individuals wants to do. But another thing we can do is maybe we give a range of 50, 55, 60 million, and you subtract it from the property price. But we can have a rough sketch of what a repayment of 50, 55, 60 million
Will look
is,
like.
and
Okay.
so that you can use that to have an idea of what the repayment will be.
Okay.
But typically, is a subject of property price, less equity contribution equal to loan amount. That is what we will now create an internal schedule on
Okay.
based on the rate.
So at what point is that done?
At the point of you trying to key in into the project of evaluation process.
Okay. If someone is buying a property of 200 million, they are required to have their own equity contribution around 100 million, right?
Yes, because if they want to use MRIF as the source of the product, right? MRIF is availing a maximum loan amount of 100 million. So if you have gone to pick a property of 200 million, that means you have 100
100
million.
million.
So the 10% equity contribution no longer comes to play.
Okay.
It no longer comes to play. So that means you have 100 million. In fact, you're supposed to have 110 million because you still do a part payment of equity contribution.
All right. So for diaspora clients,
Yeah,
how will their bank statement be accessed? Or can you give us a breakdown of how the mortgage applies to
that's for us.
diasporans?
Okay, so we only avail mortgage to diasporans who are in a paid employment and who also has an account, a running account here in Nigeria,
Okay.
most likely a current account with any commercial banks here in Nigeria, because part of the major criteria is undated checks, right? And guarantor. We require a minimum of 2 guarantors that are willing to give the client the post-dated checks and that of the check of the customer as well. Minimum of, let's say, 12 checks for each of the individuals. Other things are things like the bank statement. The diasporan person will go to his bank, generate his 12 months bank statement and 6 months pay slip. We convert whatever he earns either in pounds or in dollars to naira and confirm the equivalent in naira. Aside that, that's major. Aside that, every other thing that is required of Nigerians is also required of the diaspora. Valid means of ID,
BVN,
BVN, NIN, and all of those things. Utility bill.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Okay,
what
the
is
utility
difference?
bill, is it for
We are going to take the two. I'm going to give us an address here in Nigeria and
okay?
also an address there over there. We conduct our KYC and due diligence on each and every one of them as well.
All right. So I think this is more like the final one. So how does the mortgage apply for people around the age of 60 years or they don't even have any opportunity to buy?
So all mortgages expected to be repaid at the age of 60 in Nigeria.
Okay.
So if you are above 60, you are above the mortgage rate in Nigeria.
Okay.
But for one reason or the other, people living in diaspora that are above 60,
Exactly. They are the ones
I
asking.
don't know, it's subject to management approval. There might be a 5 years, there might be a 5 years leverage subject to the management of the bank's approval. But naturally, we don't finance anybody that is above 60. You are expected to be done paying your mortgage by the time you are age 60 in Nigeria, except if you are a professor or you are a judge. Those are the people that they are expectant age, working age is above 60, extended to 70 years.
People are also they are like the mortgage process is it not
Kubasum.
cumbersome and the approval,
Mm.
how long does it take to get it?
Okay, so typically the processing timeline is between 3 to 4 weeks. The week one is supposed to be for due diligence. The client pays a token of 275 if you are in Nigeria.
So 75,000.
Yes, and if you are a diaspora, it's about 447 minimum, depending on the location you are, either US or UK. We have a breakdown for the amount of due diligence that you are supposed to pay. So the first week is supposed to be for due diligence. We evaluate the property you want to buy. We do charting valuation, search on that property. Then we also verify the approved building plan to be sure the property is approved. Then we conduct what we call credit search on the individuals to confirm the
If they are credit worthy.
maximum or the extent at which they are indebted to any financial institution. So once we are done with all of that in week one, the account officers collate all the documents or all the reports and present to the management for approval in the second week.
Okay.
The third week, an offer is supposed to have been made and the client meets condition precedent to draw down. If you are fast enough, that same third week, disbursement will happen. But if you are not, it might extend to the fourth week. Then the amount that you are borrowing to exceed 70 or 75 million, that means it's likely to go to board for approval here in Imperial. So there might be another week extension for that, for the transaction to go to board for approval.
Okay.
Yeah.
There's one question also just popped up in my head now.
Just go ahead.
So can a client buy an off-plan property with the mortgage loan?
That question is dicey because we are only doing that for few of our partners, and it's
Okay,
not as if
development companies that
yes
partner with you.
with us, and we are doing that through a product we call Obvest.
Okay,
And what that product means is that you will have to save for a period of time while we expect that construction will be ongoing on site, not that we are actually financing off plan.
okay,
So, permit me to use Zelos for example. I don't know
yeah.
if you are familiar
Yes,
with
yes.
Zelos
We partner
Havana
with
one.
Zelos.
Yes. So for Lekki Havana one, we partner with Zelos in March 2025, whereby we encourage some people to buy those products off plan. And if you have been to the property or
Yes,
the
I have
site in
been. Yeah.
recent time, you will see that over 70%
Yes,
build up,
yes,
you know. And
that's correct.
those subscribers that came in March, we started availing mortgage to them in November
Okay,
because the building is already standing and it has been roofed. But they
okay.
have started contributing their savings and their equity
Since
contribution since March. So
it's true.
there is a dynamics at which we finance that
That
strictly
off-plan
for our
project.
partners who are keen into Invest
Okay.
product.
I think that's all for today. Thank you so much, Mr. Olatunji. Thank you
Thank
for your
you
time.
for having us.
Thank you so much.